and mercy that God did in the life of my sister Tina.
So it started off in December 2022. We were choir practice for Carol night for Christmas, and I started to have left rib pain, and I leaned forward, I couldn't breathe. Then I collapsed, and right after I collapsed, I remember just being in the ambulance. However, it was more like I had an out-of-body experience, and I saw myself on the stretcher in the ambulance, dead pretty much. I could hear the paramedics saying, "We are losing her. I can't find a pulse." And the next thing I remember is I was on a bed surrounded by doctors in the room, and
so we're at the hospital in the ER, and they were running all the tests they could run. They said they cannot get the specialist in that night because we had a heavy snow, and the specialist could only come in the next day. And so they were trying to do everything possible they can, humanly possible, to keep her alive and try to find the pulse. And the doctor at that time said, okay, we have run every single test. We've run CTs, scans, we've done MRI, and she had seizures during the MRI, which they could not continue. And right now, we still can't find a pulse. So if you believe in God, all I'll say is right now, leave everything in the hands of God. Everything shut down in her system. She froze. Legs could not move, hands could not move, she could not talk. She was just looking at us. They would call her name, but she would just roll her eyes. Again, they had to take her back to see what is going on. If it's something internal, if whether she has an internal bleeding, any clot from somewhere. They came back and told us all the results are negative. Everything looks good. We do not know what's going on. The specialist came in, arrived right away. They said, oh, the specialist is here. They quickly took her back again for test results. And when she came back, she was able to talk, though she went through a memory loss. So they say because the seizures were not epileptic seizures, they were non-epileptic seizures, meaning the seizures that she was having, what was causing those seizures was the trauma and stress that she had gone through, and that's why those seizures were happening. So now they had to wait for her to make some sort of movements with her legs so they could discharge her. And within a short period of time, again, we got into prayers. There they came back, she moved her legs. They said, okay, we'll discharge you. She didn't even stay for more than 12 hours at home. Again, here we go through seizures. She can't breathe. She's complaining she can't breathe, she can't breathe, she can't breathe. I'm losing her over here.
Yeah, I was having
again
25 seizures in 3 hours.
And so they had to come and again back to the hospital. Again, tests, they say we still cannot figure out. The only thing we can rule is trauma.
It's gonna be back home with medication
that she took. It still didn't work.
So I'm not epileptic, so it's not gonna work anymore. I became like a crazy person. I could literally slap anybody. I wasn't talking to anybody unless you're in my immediate family or with me in the hospital at the time. I couldn't recognize people. I couldn't see anybody new. Nobody could come to the house. I couldn't go out.
She could only see the people that she last saw within 24 hours.
Yes.
That's where her memory stopped at. Mm-hmm. It had to be the same faces she saw 24 hours ago. And I remember I had to tune in into NSPPD. And when I tuned in right away, Pastor Jerry was praying, he said something to say to someone having seizures.
The Lord is removing every seizure. The Lord is removing every seizure.
And I tapped onto that. I said, God, yes, my sister. They're running tests again. Now they said, oh, we've just come up with something. It's not good. She seems to have stomach cancer. And it's not looking good. It's gonna spread rapidly. So we need to schedule another separate appointment for her to go see another specialist so they can tell us the next step.
And they said, okay, go back, wait 2 weeks to get the results back. Praying, so NSPPD still praying. And then finally I got a email back from the doctor saying, We don't see cancer, stomach cancer.
Right now, as we speak, she's seizures free. Memory is back.
Yeah.
She can walk, cook, everything is back to normal. And I give God the glory.
Pastor Jerry, what God cannot do does not exist.